Like in the first year of med school, it's like school. You go to your lectures and then you take notes from your lectures and you kind of do that, and then you realize after a while that hang on, I'm spending like 2 hours taking notes from this lecture, and what's the point? Like, am I learning anything by taking these notes? And the research says that summarizing stuff with the book open is not very effective. And then but it still feels very weird to just not take any notes at all. And sort of me and all of my friends had this evolution throughout medical school where we all started off taking copious notes, and then by the end of it, we practically like didn't take any notes at all because we knew that there were all sorts of sort of resources out there, especially for medicine. There's so many revision guides and things on the internet that taking notes itself is a somewhat pointless activity. So I think that was the interesting evolution that happened over time.
So instead of taking notes, what do you just do the active recall and spaced repetition on the resources and the notes you find online? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So one thing I've started doing that I think is the method that I'll continue using is to just write questions. So instead of writing notes, just like write questions. So what are the 5 causes of thyroid cancer or something like that, and not even bothering to write the answer to that because writing the answer is a waste of time because whatever. And then when I look through my notes, I see the question and I have to physically force myself to answer the question. And if I can't answer it, then I can just Google it, or I can just go back to the notes and with Control F, because it's so easy to find answers in lecture notes these days that I don't think it's worth the time to try and actually write the answers down, because then you'll end up writing Q&As for like the whole of medicine, which is unsustainable.
So you just write the question, and that's very interesting. Oh, I never knew about that. Yeah, so just writing questions. That's good, actually.
Yeah, I've got a friend who did this when he was in his first year. So I gave a talk about this very thing in like 2015, because this was when like I was interested in the topic, and a friend of mine who was a first year medical student came to that talk. And after that talk, which was all about active recall and spaced repetition, he literally just wrote down questions. So for every subject, he had a list of like 1,000 questions, just one line of questions that he wrote for himself. And he would just kind of his revision would be going through and answering these questions in his head, and then highlighting the ones he didn't know and looking them up. And he ended up ranking second in the year, just off learning, like not writing any notes, just writing questions for himself. And so I think that is proof that the method sort of works if you can apply it properly.
Yeah, and also I saw in one of the videos that you actually also write chapter notes.